All right, what is up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. It is good to see my brother, Alan B. Pro, in good spirits. And look at that awesome flag behind him. Let me blow it up for a second. Look at that. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. With that being said, brother, please get us started off right.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent, excellent. How was your week, man?
My week was pretty good. Pretty good. Just mostly getting things done with work. The getting older day happened this week, so I went down and uh, ate with my brother and went and watched the new Accountant 2. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. If you haven't seen the first Accountant, definitely watch it. The Accountant 2 was really well as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I've never seen those movies. I'll have to check it out. What's going on, Jamie?
Just trying to survive, man. Just everywhere I look, there's more work to do. Like cutting grass and fixing trucks, fixing motorcycles, you know, reloading. I've got, I'm on a quest for a 270 Winchester hunting load. So I'm hoping to be doing some of that stuff. And I got a video that I'm still got in back there. I need to edit, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm thinking about making two out of it, maybe just one. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, man, life is what happens. It's what goes on. But thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, man. Rob, what's going on, man?
Not too much. Just getting by, doing the normal stuff. Did get to stop by the gun store this week, so that was cool. Finally made a selection on something for the kid, and basically also had a apparently a well-known Subaru issue with a brake line union. So which is kind of put in a dumb spot and is a well-known failure point. And basically, I had to rerun lines for the rear brakes on my car this week, so that was always fun. Last minute, unexpected. So, and then of course, my 3/16 flare adapter ended up snapping on my last fitting and trying to locate one of those, and nobody's got one in stock, so I had to go rent another kit, and that turned out to be a problem. So, or not rent another, I had to go rent a kit because I own one, but yeah, I'm missing the 3/16 adapter now though, so got to order one of those. Nobody's got them in stock, but basically, a bunch of running around and bullshit, and like I said, how things go, unexpected, and something's got to break on when you're almost done, and it's been one of those weeks. So the dentist still screwed up, so now I'm on stage 2 of a root canal because when they did the cavity, they went too damn low, and now it's all infected and shit. So I'm on antibiotics, and eating's a problem and can't chew on that side and blah blah blah, and I feel like an old grumpy bitch, honestly. So That's
Well, you
what you
sound
got
like
today.
one, so. So did you? What did you select at the gun store?
She's gonna go with the Ruger Security 380. So she felt that and felt the Smith and Wesson, the Easy, and honestly, she likes the Ruger better. So it's kind of like a kick in the balls to me being a Smith guy, but it's not about me. It's about her preference. And I must say the Ruger did it seemed easier to slide than the Easy. So maybe it's just how I perceived it, how she perceives it, but she liked that, and there's no palm safety to have to be careful with either. So that's basically what we're going with. So plan on picking that up probably Tuesday because they're not open Monday, and we were there on the weekend, so it really didn't make a difference to get it done, I guess, because I can't get it until I get clearance from the sheriff and blah 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 because of my stupid ass state. So basically, it's a process.
Right, right. Well, it all comes down to what fits her well, and if that's what she picked. That's what she picked, man. That's it's good that she's going
Yep.
through the process, and you're not pressing her into something else.
Right, yeah. No, I told her, these are the options I'm thinking. Even the guy at the gun store basically said I was right on point. He ordered the Ruger in so that way I could get her to have hands on both. Checked a place in Scranton where I might have been able to rent them, but they only had the EZ available, so they didn't have a Ruger to compare. So I figured there was no point in dropping $80 to, just to come shoot one of them in a sense. By the time gas, renting a range, renting the firearm, then I got to buy ammo there because you can't bring your own. It's always jacked up. But, if they had both guns there, I might have considered it just to make sure she's happy with her, happy with what she's choosing. But so far, I think we're on point and on track. And, the gun seems like a decent gun. So I'm damn sure going to play with it until her permit comes through. And then, when she's finally legally able, due to our bullshit state, I'll have to go back down to the gun shop and have them run a background check on her, even though she just acquired her permit, and transfer it legally to her name. So it's not a straw purchase, one of these damn things. So
Right.
just more crap in a bullshit state, but that's what I got to deal with. So, but at least she'll have something. So.
Nope, that's good, man. I'm glad that she's picked something out and is on the way.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It feels like I reached an achievement in life that, one of my kids is getting armed. You know what I mean? Especially my daughter. That's something. Yeah.
Yep, that's huge, man. Absolutely huge. Folks, we have someone who joined us who we have not seen in quite a long time. My brother Phil, how you doing, man?
All right. How about yourself? I'm just jumping in real quick. I can't stay long, but I keep getting the invites, and I just wanted to say, hey, how you doing, and see everybody real quick.
Always good to
Well, I
see you,
got to
man.
tell you, you're looking good, Phil. Looking good, man. We miss you around these parts.
Yeah, thank you. You too, Alan. You look good, guys.
Good to see you, Phil.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. Glad you could jump in for a minute.
Yeah, I just I got the invite earlier, and I was like, I ain't got nothing going on right now, and I usually try to get to bed early because I got to get up at 4:20 in the morning. So, but wife's not home, and I was like, well, it's pretty quiet here. I'll jump on real quick.
Awesome, man. How you been doing, dude? What's been going on?
Not too bad. On the gun wise, I haven't gotten any new purchases lately. I just went to a gun bash yesterday. Spent a bunch of money, didn't win anything, but it was for a good cause. So I know the next one I go to for sure is August, which is my gun club, which I'll be working. I generally do the all day 50-50, and then once that's done, I can start drinking. And 2 years ago, they ran out of the keg kicked right before I got done counting the money, and I was like, really? So I was like, man, you're killing me here, guys. So
that sounds like a problem.
yes, it was. So I had to go in the club and just get cans of beer.
If you're counting the money, I recommend 2 kegs this year.
Yeah. So it's been slow. Not much going on. Just trying to survive in life here. So I'm just happy to be here, guys.
How's the family doing, man?
Good. The wife's been through a lot last few years. Had 2 hips done, 2 knees done, and I got an appointment in August to go see an orthopedic surgeon for my knee. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, all in
Go ahead, Jamie.
NFL games. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Phil, all them NFL games been pretty rough on that knee.
Yeah. Well, I think the Marine Corps and Taekwondo had something to do with it. So, but yeah, it's been bugging me for the last year and a half, 2 years now. And I tried the cortisone shots, and then I did the chicken shots, and so it's just not working yet, or still. And it's like, well, I'll go see a orthopedic surgeon, and as soon as I could get in was August, so I was like, well, I'll take it. Hopefully, I can make it till then.
Yeah, that's the really shitty part with the system, man. It takes so long to get stuff done.
Yeah, well, that's because I had 3 doctors they recommended, and I tried to take the best one, and he was out in August, so I was like, well, I'll wait. So I'm not in a big hurry yet. So I saw Daniel. Daniel's not on tonight. I'm surprised.
I think waiting for the good doctor's a good call.
Yeah.
A lot of those surgeries, not to sound negative, but there's mixed results sometimes. So I think, you should go above and beyond to get the best damn doctor you could get with the best record with some of that stuff. Because, you don't want to turn out to be one of them statistics where you're in the same damn spot as far as movement, pain, but yet after being laid up for how long and the surgeries and all this stuff later. So
yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I looked at the online reviews and tried to pick out the best one, and he seemed like the best one, and I went to make an appointment and it said August. I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll wait. So
well, if he is the best, the waiting, is kind of understandable. Then there's probably a lot of people that would prefer to wait, but
exactly.
Yeah, at this point you only got one body, so you don't want to take chances.
Yep.
And as you probably know, medical malpractice is one of the leading causes of death in our country. So people should take it more serious than they do.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Anytime you potentially going under the knife, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How you doing, Scotsman? I know you had problems with your back and stuff.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with it. It's basically come down to sciatica, so a lot of nerve issues. And it's just a slow process, but I'm a lot better than I was.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I haven't trusted the medical industry since the early 2000s. When my doctor told me that, if I had a vasectomy, I wouldn't have any more kids. But when I got home, they were still there.
Ain't life a bitch?
I hate when that happens.
Some good news is, if you believe the YouTube shorts, some guy in Russia is building his own Iron Man suit. So maybe the whole exoskeleton thing will become a reality within our lifetimes. You never know.
That'd be nice.
Probably look like something out of Family Guy.
Maybe. But if you can run like you were 16 and jump 12 feet in the air and just lift your car up to change the tire without a jack, I mean, shit, I'll buy a couple.
Wait, you were running at 16? I stopped running when I was like 12 years old, dude. My knees were so messed up at that point already.
How's it going, Christian?
Hey, what y'all up to?
We were waiting on you to get here.
No. Yeah, I figured I'd pop on here. I had some free time, so actually my wife she's out of town and in the hospital, so
no,
not much I can do from here, so I'm kind of waiting it out, but yeah, so yeah, not been doing too bad, just been pretty dang busy. I heard y'all talking about some physical issues. And back pain right now myself, so I've had a busy weekend. Kept me mess my back up. Sitting is the worst for me on that stuff. I try not to sit, and spend a lot of time editing because my wife was out of town trying to catch up on projects and stuff. And yep, so kind of got me in pain, but that's all right. So what y'all been up to?
We're planning a get together kind of close to your area, I hope.
Okay.
You're over by the coast, right?
Well, I mean, I'm 2 hours from the coast. I'm in between Raleigh and Fayetteville.
You know where Vale is?
Vale?
Hickory?
Well, Hickory is west.
Right.
Yeah, Hickory is it's probably 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, I think, at least west. Yeah, because I'm close to the coast. I mean, North Carolina is kind of a long state, but to go clear across the other side of the tip from here, I think is about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, I think, something like that.
Yeah, we're getting together on the week of the 4th of July, that Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. What you doing out there?
June 30th and July the 1st.
Okay.
We're going to be at, we'll get together for a meet and greet and shoot kind of thing over at Mike Hester's place. Rebel owns a gun store over there called, and there's a range there too. It's called Bullseye Sporting Goods. And it's in Vale. Vale is Vale is nothing but a wide spot in the road, basically. It's like a farming community. It's about 20 or 30 minutes from Hickory, from my understanding. So we want everybody that can or wants, that's in the area or wants to.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely my neck of the woods. I mean, it's still a bit of a drive, but I'm actually going to look it up right now. Let's see.
So what's going on with the wife, man? She okay?
Well, she went down to Florida to meet up with my sister, kind of little girls getaway for a concert and stuff. And she ate at a restaurant before the concert, and it looks like she got really bad food poisoning. So she's been, she was just short of kidney failure. She waited long enough to get help. She went to urgent care, and they didn't do nothing for her. They gave her anti-nausea medication. She was throwing up all night, all that stuff. And then she ended up going to the emergency room, and they did a CT on her and gave her fluid. They were like, you know, you shouldn't have waited so long to come here. She was so dehydrated and all that stuff. But she still can't keep nothing down. So it's a really bad case. She's been there in the hospital since yesterday. Unfortunately, my work, I mean, she's with my sister, so she's not by herself, but, yeah, she was hoping to get out today, but she's still not 100% or not 100%. She won't be for a little while, but they say they won't let her go until she can hold down solid food. So looks like she'll be there at least another night. Hopefully tomorrow she'll be better. She's got some other stomach issues. I think that's probably not helping either. But yeah, pretty crappy thing to go away for, a little get away and then end up in the hospital. So she definitely didn't have that in the cards. But she's in pretty good hands though, I think.
Do you mind telling us what restaurant we should avoid if we value our life?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a chain place or nothing. It was like a one-off restaurant. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, my sister ate there too, but she didn't have any problems. But they had some lettuce wrap, something, and my wife grabbed one from, I don't know. She didn't get exactly the same from the same batch, I guess. I imagine if she got it that bad, other people probably got it too. So, well, I mean.
So rule of thumb is don't eat a salad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what type
definitely.
of restaurant was it? Was it like Italian sushi?
It wasn't like that.
General
It was,
restaurant?
I don't know what the theme of the restaurant was, but they had like some sort of lettuce wrapped, and they had like roast beef sliders. So I don't know. It sounded like kind of a variety type restaurant.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean I've had food poisoning before too, and that mess is no joke. I mean, I didn't end up in the hospital. I mean, I probably should have went to the hospital. But
the last bad experience I had was a Greek gyro with lamb in it.
Yep.
From the New York State Fair, and I thought I was gonna die that evening. So I didn't go to the hospital, but it didn't go well. It didn't go well.
That's pretty rough. I mean, I remember when I had food poisoning last time. It was a couple of days of nothing but nonstop, hugging the bathroom and all that. I mean, I felt like I was gonna die. Like I said, I probably should have went to the hospital, but I was a lot younger and dumber then. Now I don't wait. I go to the hospital.
Your wife's probably gonna need another vacation after this vacation.
Well, the funny thing is, she was like, my sister was like, "Yep, no more concerts, no more." They're like, "We ain't doing none of this anymore," because it's not the first time they got together. She likes going to music concerts, and I don't really like the crowds and stuff, so she kind of leaves me at home, and I'm okay with that. But in a way, I kind of wish I would have been with her to kind of help her out. So she's so far away.
Food poisoning is no joke, man. I had it probably about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what it was that I ate, but dude, I woke up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in pure absolute agony, and then at 7 o'clock I was throwing up. And I couldn't tell you the last time I threw up. It's been many, many years. I basically didn't eat for 3 days, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no fun. Like I said, she already has some stomach issues, so doing all that, nonstop. They did a CT on her because she does have stomach issues, and they found out her gallbladder's inflamed, and they're saying, "Listen, you need to go see a GI specialist and stuff, and get back home." So I don't know. I think a lot more is going to come to this than just the food poison, unfortunately. But
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
So yeah, so kind of been a crappy couple days. The weekend's not been so good.
Well, I've seen you've been doing a lot of reviews here lately of 1,000 round reviews and stuff like that. Things been going good as far as firearms.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been busy, man. Trying to keep up and like, I don't know, work or my job that actually pays me money. that's been keeping me pretty busy, and I enjoy the firearm stuff, the gunsmith and stuff, and doing the reviews and whatnot. But sometimes I obligate myself, and I've gotten a little stretched thin with obligations on that side of things, and companies sometimes so I've gotten the habit of asking, listen, what's your expectation? How much time are you going to give me? And then if it works in my time allotment, then I'll agree to it. But like I got an optic review I just finished up yesterday that they gave me a 60-day window, which I was like, oh, that's great. But then I had a lot of issues and trying to get time at the range and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do more pistol reviews with, at least 1,000 rounds. Cause I think really that's kind of the benchmark for stuff. If you can put 1,000 rounds through something and, by then you can have a pretty good report on, how it worked for you, how it didn't work for you, stuff like that. Unfortunately, sometimes I can't get the 1,000 rounds done as quick as I would like. Sometimes it takes a little longer. So some of my recent ones didn't take too long, but to go to a range and blow 1,000 rounds in 1 or 2 trips is not only is it time consuming, it gets a little bit pricey too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you all see that CZ came up with a new pistol this week?
Yep, I did. I want to get it. I mean, I don't really need it, but
That's a subjective word. Need.
Yeah, I think we all technically need to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I'm digging the aluminum grips. I am positively loving the decocker. That's one thing that I wish that they would have put on the compact and to begin with, but and that was one of the big things is when they came out with the Shadow 2 compact. Everybody was like, man, why didn't it come with a decocker? And well, CZ, unlike some other companies, listened to their customers.
Yeah, definitely.
And so yeah, I'm liking it. It does it need to replace my Shadow 2 compact now? Do I have to bum rush out and get it? Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to I'll tell you, I didn't own any CZ pistols until early last year. I had a CZ Scorpion I've had for a long time, but just never. I mean, I was close to buying them numerous times, and I love the Shadow 2, but I was like, I'm not a competition shooter anymore. I did rifle competitions. I did a couple 2-gun deals, but, I was like, you know what? If they ever come up with a shorter version I could maybe carry, I'd buy it. And then they came out with Shadow 2 compact. I was like, hot dang, I'm going to get that thing. And I got it, and it's been an awesome pistol. I mean, absolutely wonderful. But you're right, for carry, not having the decocker kind of sucks. I'm not really a fan of the safety on it. It's so thin that I can't have a hard time, knocking it with my thumb. And now they got the carry model. I'm like, well, I might have to get that. Maybe what I do is I get rid of my other Shadow 2 compact and get a Shadow full size. Cause I've been thinking about getting a full size. I was like, man, I like that thing so much. I wouldn't mind getting a full size. I also picked up, so after I got the Shadow 2 compact, I was like, well, this is the higher end of CZ. I was like, well, let me get a PO7. I wanted to get something on the lower end. I got that. That thing's been freaking awesome also. And then I got that PO9C Nocturne, which was basically like a refreshed PO7 with the slide cuts. That thing I had some issues with, though, along with quite a few other people. So, I mean, I got it working now, but CZ, they really impressed me. I'm kind of kicking myself for not picking one up a lot sooner, but I guess better late than never to the party.
Yeah, man, you get into CZ, you're going to have a family of guns.
I said it didn't take long.
It's just a natural occurrence when that happens, man. And so I've looked at the carry, and the only two things I don't like. Number one, I don't like the sights because I really do prefer a fiber optic sight. So I'm not a big fan of the sights to put on there. And then I don't like the enlarged slide lock release that they put on there. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather it was more slimline.
Yeah, sure.
But other than that, I like the looks of it.
Well, I definitely understand the purpose for the optics or for the sights on it. It does give you an actual true co-witness with a no plate adapter when you're using like regular hollow sun footprint, whatnot. And so, yeah, I understand the purpose. I do like that they made them night sights, even though they're blacked out and bladed night sights. I do kind of like that too. But yeah, I can understand the slide lock. Yes, people are just very, very accustomed now to using it as a slide release all the time. But in my carry pistols, I want everything to have lights and optics anyway. So for me, I think the sights on it are going to work out well. And you know, the slide lock being tapered down, I about use the optic anyway.
I just don't like it because it's bulky. You know, to me, it's going to make the holster be slightly bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah, where I'm gonna throw an optic on it anyway. I'm gonna make it more bulky.
Yeah, see, I'm not an optic guy. I really don't like optics. I've got the one pistol with them, and I absolutely hate it. I'm not an optic guy. I'm iron sights all day long.
Yeah, on a pistol, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of that way for a long time, but I started carrying with an optic year or so ago, and I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, there's definitely some extra stuff to consider though, for sure. So, hey, my wife's calling me. Let me. I'm gonna kind of. I'm just gonna mute myself and stop my camera, but y'all continue on. I'll be back in a second.
All right.
Yeah, I got a love-hate relationship with the CZ Shadows there, Shadows 2. You know, I'd love to have one, but I hate to pay for one. That's the difference.
Well,
You
that's
know?
because you're a cheap
The
fucking
damn price,
bastard.
you know?
You're a cheap bastard. That's why.
I am publicly. So, you know, if any of you guys, you know, get hard up and want to sell yours for some, you know, reasonable price, cheap ass price, I'm your guy, you know? So when you need bail money, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, that whole cheap part doesn't comply with CZ. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. I think the cheapest one you can probably pick up is the C10. I think you can get that for $400-$500 depending.
Yep, they're just under 5. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I got to check out that new Shadow too. So,
yeah, it looks good, man. Like I said, there's just a couple small things I'm not a big fan of, but you know, the sights are easily be changeable, and I'm sure I could probably change out the slide lock as well if I really wanted to, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
This is a slightly different topic, but you guys hear about this new High Point AR-15?
No.
I guess it was just released at a show or something like that. So I checked the website. It's not available yet, like to actually purchase, but apparently it's supposed to be a thing now and out. So for under $500, let's see, either in what is it? A 10-inch pistol or a 16-inch rifle. and it's in 300 blackout or 5.56.
What? I have one question and one question only. What is the fucking weight?
That's a good question. I don't have that spec, so it's a good question. But yeah, it looks like a standard AR-15. So there's photos out there of it now and whatnot. So a couple people got to hold it and did a little, video about it and whatnot. So I'm not really sure, but it is a good question. But yeah,
Well, if it looks like a standard AR-15, it's probably not a high point because high point doesn't do anything standard.
It's 2 bricks instead of 1 brick. That's all.
yeah, yeah. It looks right. That's all I can say. From photos.
If it's a 16-inch barrel, it's probably like 4 or 5 bricks.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? They're deeming it the was it recession proof AR-15 was the title of the article now. So
Wow.
They're gonna play the title, huh? Recession proof AR.
I think they're all
if
that
it
way.
if it runs anything like their carbines, their actual carbines, it may not be that bad.
that's what I'm thinking too.
Because yeah, it might be heavy, whatnot, but Redbird is out in the chat. I shot one of hers and it didn't look like she had cleaned this thing in years. And it was just like there was this black gunk inside the chamber area, and that thing ran like a sewing machine. It was accurate as hell. Yeah, you could hold down a boat with it. But it chewed everything up from factory loads, reloads. It didn't matter. That thing just ran. So, I mean, if not, I can't fathom the idea of taking a high point into into really a bad situation where or anything. It might be it would really have to prove itself on the range for me to even trust it for, just around the house.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in seeing reviews or whatever, but if we, I think we all agree high points are, big, bulky, they're ugly, but they do usually run without a problem, which, I personally bitch about when you consider buying some higher end guns where you got a big ass break-in period and they're real fussy on ammo. When you can get $150 high point that'll damn near eat anything. You know what I mean? It's pretty. I don't know. I'm not saying they're the best gun out there, but they are known to work. So even in the carbines, there's people shooting those in competitions. Even Chris from the 740, he runs I believe maybe not. I shouldn't say that. So, but they're fairly reliable. They're big, they're bulky, but they work pretty well. I mean, is that correct or am I crazy?
So
Well,
Jeff,
and being under $500, that's pretty dang hard to beat. Last week we were talking about the Kuna, the 9mm Springfield Armory. And like I suspected, it's got a polymer lower in it and stuff, but it still looks absolutely phenomenal. But you're not going to see one of those shy of $1,000. So do you buy 2 high point AR styles? Get one in 5.56 and one in 300 blackout, or one Kuna that's a 9mm?
I definitely think it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm not going to trade in my Stag or something to pick up a high point AR, but I could definitely see it being an entry entry option to somebody, you know, something along those lines, or maybe even a backup. I mean, obviously weight matters, but depending what you're doing, it may not be, you know, so relevant to somebody that doesn't plan on doing anything but, you know, sitting at their kitchen table, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I think it could be a good thing. I mean, if it runs, you know, even if it is slightly a little heavier, and honestly, a little heavier is usually more controllable for people that aren't in the best physical condition as well. So I don't know, you know, it's definitely interesting. I think it's I think PSA is probably shitting a brick right now.
So 142.08 ounces. That's 8.5 pounds.
Oof.
It's a beast, man. That's what they
Yeah.
do. They make fucking hammers, man.
So that's what, a pound or two over standard, correct?
That's
Am I
a
understanding
lot
about
more than
6 and
that.
change?
That's
Yeah,
like
That's a lot.
double.
I was gonna say that's a lot more than that. It's almost
Yeah,
double. Yeah.
standard carbine AR is probably around this 6.5, 6 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So probably 2 pounds more or something like that.
So it's probably a heavy barrel, and you know that's typically where most of the weight is, anyways. Or what makes it seem heavier is when they use super heavy profile barrels.
I just looked on their website. It's not posted on the website yet.
So I'm assuming this is an AMRAM NRAM release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what show it was at, but I've gotten emails and also seen some people I follow post videos with them having hands on it. So it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing as far as on their website as yet, but Daniel's right there, and maybe we can go pay a visit and see if we can get an exclusive. You know.
That would be cool. Bama Dad says, "What do they start off milling it from an anvil? If they did, it would be lighter than."
Pretty much.
I think, like Christian was saying, you know, you want a barrel, and of course, everything's purpose driven, but it's like all the weight. You think about the makeup of an AR-15 and the barrel, the handguard, and they're all front heavy anyway because of the stock. All the weight's up front. You get a longer barrel to make it more accurate. You get a heavier barrel to make it slower to heat up if you're going to be shooting it a lot. But dang, man, you know.
So when I shot service rifle matches, we shot 20-inch ARs, you know, standard, you know, front sight post, you know, iron sights, all that fun stuff. But the barrels were heavier match grade barrels, and they were so front heavy. We added extra lead in the buttstock to compensate, balance them out. And those things are, I mean, you add additional weight in the back. I don't particularly like a AR that's got a super duper heavy barrel without it being balanced out, but they get pretty heavy pretty quick. And I saw, I think it was Fluffy out there talking about the Ruger S-FAR. Yeah, the Ruger S-FAR 308 rifle, if you get the 16-inch version with nothing added, is 6.8 pounds. That's a 308.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, the thing of it is that a lot of us put our own stuff together, and so they tend to be a lot lighter.
Yep.
You know, when you're able to go out and pick what you want and look at the things you want and put it together yourself, you're saving a lot of weight.
Yeah, but most people, I don't say, well, maybe most people, I think most people aren't interested in trying to put stuff together.
No, they're not. They're not, because I get people asking me all the time if I'd build something for them.
Yep, same here. It's a revolving door at the house, helping people.
Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. So it's good to see everybody.
Good
happy to jump in and just say hi, and glad for the invite, and thank you, Scotsman. And you guys have a good night and have a good week.
Always a pleasure seeing you, man.
Take it easy,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
Great to see you, Phil.
Thank you.
That was an awesome blast in the past right there. There you go.
There's all types of reasons, I guess, people buy guns or different types of buyers. I mean, you may have people that have higher end stuff that just want to play or experiment. You may have beginners, people that don't know any better. A gun's a gun. There's all types of different buyers. So it seems like if it's a functional gun, I think it'll probably do okay. I mean, as far as high points go, I think there's I don't know, a lot of people, if you believe what we're seeing here as far as numbers, statistics, a lot of people are having hard times right now. So if you're pressured, hard times, and you can pick something up that's going to work, it's comparable, it looks right, maybe a little heavier, I think people probably would. I doubt they're going to be the people trying to like show it off and stuff, but I'd bet they'll probably sell. I'm guessing.
Oh,
Well-
I guarantee they will. They're going to be competing in the market with Delton, and there's a couple other lower end brand names.
Well,
they're
Delton's
not-
out of business. I don't know if you
they're
guys saw that.
Delton's done for.
Yep. Yeah, they
you,
closed their
you,
doors.
you can still pick them up for $400.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but
They're
the
out
company
there.
is-
They're still out there, but they ain't going to be producing anymore, just like Sky. But I mean,
So my thoughts are this: there's been so many companies that have done all the legwork for High Point. There's no reason that High Point can't bring that thing out and it actually run half decent. That's my thoughts on it. There's so much R&D and so many companies that have went down the road to build their own, line of ARs. A lot of them use parts from some of the same, vendors and stuff and slap their name on there. I mean, I shot High Points. I've never owned one. I think they're ugly as sin, but the ones I shot have ran good. I don't think they'd be putting an AR out there if they weren't confident they could do something decent. I'm not being a heavy barrel, but that's.
I agree with you. I knowing that company and knowing what they've got on the market already and how they operate, I agree 100%. I don't think they're going to try and put something on the market that could potentially have issues.
Y'all want to see it?
Sure. You got an online picture ready to roll?
Can we see a picture?
Yeah. If you got one, go ahead, man.
Well, that's a pistol, 10.5-inch pistol. That don't weigh no.
yeah,
8 pounds.
well, and it says that it's going to have a pistol variant of 300 blackout is
Okay.
what stood out to me.
Okay, there we go.
With 5.56 and 300 blackout with probably different chamberings in the future.
It
Yeah.
looks to me like the weight is in the receivers because they've used that same metal that they use to make their carbines out of, and this picture shows it better. Look at the receivers.
They look like mil-spec style receivers, though, from what I can tell, at least in the picture.
Yeah, they look right from the pictures I've seen too.
They're probably forgings from one of the forgers, and they're just machining them. So I'm wondering. I mean, the all that extra weight, it's got to be barrel related, I would think. But that barrel there on that pistol don't look super heavy. Looks like a normal profile. And the other one, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell in that one. And the handguard
that
got a lot of
one-
weight taken out of it.
That one looks like the barrel's a lot heavier.
Yeah, I can't really tell myself, but maybe. But 8 pounds, I mean, I don't know, unless they're including the optic in that weight. Are they including the optic with it?
And they might be. I mean, that would explain a lot of the weight.
Yeah.
And you know what? If they're including an optic, that'll help with sales for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, package ready to roll out of the box. That would be
for $500. Yeah, that'd be a heck of a deal.
That'd be a good deal. At least price right. People would like that, I should say. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a closer look at the receiver.
Yeah, that looks mil spec to me. At least, on the outside. I mean, it definitely looks like it's a regular mil spec style receiver.
Okay, check this out. We got a High Point AR-15
And a loophole optic.
Leupold optic and cantilever mount.
Yeah, the optic costs more than the rifle.
That happens all the time, guys.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's not a super high end loophole, but yeah, it's probably costs more than a rifle.
That pistol don't look too bad.
Yeah, I'd give one a whirl. I've actually been thinking about getting a super duper budget, like an Anderson or, I got PSA stuff and whatnot, but High Point, it might make for some good content running one through its paces and seeing how it does.
Yeah, thank
you. Yeah, if anything, just get the High Point lower and then build it all, just pimp it out with like phenomenal parts and blow everybody away at the range with your High Point.
Yeah, if the receivers are good in spec receivers, you can build it however you want.
Look
I'll
over
hold out for the
out there. It says Groupon special.
But look over on the right hand side of that picture, right over.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those High Point pistols don't have to work. You can just scare the crap out of somebody as ugly as they are. That's what I can never get. I can never get out of how heavy they were and how ugly they were. The ones that I've shot.
Ugly as sin, dude.
Yeah.
Ugly as sin. So freaking heavy. I try to convince so many customers over the years, spend a little bit of extra money and get you something that you're actually going to be able to use, and carry instead of having a fucking brick in your pocket or on your hip.
You should if you can, but again, some people are new. Some people it's their very first gun. Something scared them into it for some reason. It's not the most ideal, but in all reality, I think it's proven that High Point does make a, I guess the cheapest reliable bedside gun for the non-gun owner, the guy that's not carrying gun around or this or that, but worried about something that's happening in the neighborhood. Single mothers. Obviously, my opinion and probably your guys's too is you should always have a gun on you or within range. But a lot of people don't think that way, So it's kind of an entry into it, So there's a couple YouTubers that started off with a High Point, and basically for those reasons, in a sense, and obviously they've upgraded since then. But it's what got them into guns to begin with. That was their entry. They're ugly. They're not so. I don't own one. I've never bought one. Whatever. But I think there's a place for them. So I just like to throw that out there every time everybody hates on them. They're not our choice, but in some cases, it's all people can do. If they can afford more, definitely afford more, but don't become a victim because you were waiting to buy a better gun. You know what I mean? By all means, defend yourself.
No, absolutely. I've sold lots of them over the years, and again, I tried to tell people and walk people through and try to get them to upgrade a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if that's what they can afford, it's better than nothing. And that's really all it comes down to. As long as they actually get out and shoot it and practice with it, and take care of it and clean it properly, it should run just fine.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting to see they got an AR coming out. So I heard rumors that there's photos leaked of a Glock's armor class with an AR, but we've been hearing that type of crap for years. So who
Yeah, I was
knows?
gonna say there's been leaks for the last probably at least 3, maybe even 4 years, maybe even
Yeah.
longer than that.
I think it's more believable without, old man Glock being there in a sense. But at the same time, yeah.
Well, and they usually come around the 1st of April, if you notice.
Okay. Yeah. But who's to say, at least it was actually one out in the wild that people I know actually put their hands on. So that's
Right.
way more believable.
Right. No, and it's again, if it's affordable and it's gonna run and work, then yeah, that's another good option for people out there. I'm all about options, man. Absolutely, 100%.
So my youngest daughter, she bought her first handgun recently. She was actually came over today because she was gonna. I was trying to come up with a contingency plan if I had to haul butt to Florida to try to get my wife out of the hospital or whatever. So she came over. She was gonna drive me down there if need be. But anyways, her and her husband went and got a couple pistols not too long ago, and she brought it over because she's wanting me to change the sights out on it. But she got a Taurus GX2. She did that on her own. I had nothing to do with it. I don't own any Taurus pistols, but she grew up shooting and stuff. She did a little bit of competition when she was young, and definitely no stranger around firearms. And her husband, on the other hand, he's the opposite. He thinks he knows everything but doesn't. And my daughter's pretty comfortable going to the range and all that fun stuff. But he picked up a Glock 19 Gen 5, and then she got that Taurus or whatever. Taurus, they always have the different color. She got I think the grip on it's like a purple or something, and then the slide silver. So you know how that is with females. They kind of like that sort of thing. But it's actually not a bad little pistol. It takes some the sights on her Glock, so she wants me to swap those things to something a little bit better because the sights that came with her, they were no better than Glock sights. But yeah, not a bad little pistol. Felt pretty good. Trigger on it's half decent. It's kind of heavy, but it's got a pretty clean break on it with a flat face. Because this is one of the Taurus's newer, I guess, one of the newer subcompact models. But yeah, and then I had since she got a safe now, I had my very first firearm I ever owned when I was a little kid. I had a Springfield model 650, I think it is, 650 or 850, given to me. It's a rimfire semi-automatic my granddad gave to me when I was just a kid. I gave that to her, so I'd been holding on to that in the safe for a while to give to her. So she wasn't expecting it, but I gave it to her. She remembers shooting that thing when she was young too. So, but
That's cool, man.
Very nice, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Alan, we're about halfway, man. You want to go through the side chat?
Well, I don't see why not. It just depends upon if YouTube allows me or not, because, well, we're not allowed to do a lot of things anymore. Bama Dad and Chessboard. Dale, good to see you out there. MCK, man, they're not really helping. Mario Mosen, Redbird 491, Fuzz Fork, Fluffy Tim's out there. Good to see Hobbies Hobo. Yep, you're doing good out there. Other than that, yep, there they are. The YouTube auditor. Hey, eat a bowl of dicks. Man, don't hardly let us do anything on YouTube anymore. Oh, and then there's Daniel. Yeah. I was trying not to say that you were out there so that people would stay.
Did someone order a ambulance? Because there's Daniel.
Yeah, I wasn't admitting that he was out there, because that'd probably run people off.
Nice. Still got a P89. That's good, man. P89 is a solid pistol. And the P95 too.
Yeah, that thing's a tank. It's a nice pistol. I need to get that thing out and shoot it. It's been a little while.
Yeah, those things are built solid.
Sad thing, Ruger will still warrant them if you got problems with them, but the problem is that they don't make them anymore. And good chance if you have too much problems with it, they'll just send you a new pistol. And I wouldn't want the. I'd much rather have the older one.
Right. That's it. If you send it in, they'll send you one of the newer ones, the SRs or whatever.
Yeah.
Since you guys bring up Ruger warranties and they don't actually have a written lifetime warranty,
Yep.
what's your guys' take on it? I mean, from my understanding, everybody I've spoke to has had great results with their customer service.
I've had exemplary. So if you look back at some of my videos on the Ruger S-FAR, I did a couple of videos about problems and how Ruger handled them. Or I at least mentioned, Ruger, man, every time I've called them, I've got somebody really fast. I'm not waiting. I'm not having to fill on an online form and send somebody, and wait for somebody to contact me. I mean, and the first time I called, it was gassing issues. I wanted to update a regulator. They just sent it right to me. No problem. I had some poor barrel machining. I did a bore scope. I had some accuracy issues with that rifle at one point, and they swapped the barrel out, sent it to them. It's like, I mean, they've been, super easy to deal with. But
pretty much what I've heard, even people that have bought and used guns that are quite old, and they'll contact expecting maybe to have to pay or whatever, and they tend to fix everything, polish stuff, buff it up, and send it back to you, and they're pretty damn shocked. So I just wanted to ask around to see, because when I was making a choice recently, or not me, but my kid, basically, that was one of the things. I was under the impression they were both lifetime warranties. After doing more research, I find out Ruger actually doesn't term it that way. So then that got me thinking, and because I was under the impression that everybody I've ever spoke to has had good results with Ruger. So basically, that's why I'm asking, just throwing that out there. So it's kind of weird how they do that with their warranty, because warranties are a selling point to me. It really is. Like, can you get parts if things go bad? That's one thing with a lot of firearms that are made overseas. Like, if we get somebody pissing people off or whatever, and things go up or things stop, are you going to be able to actually service this tool? And the other aspect is, is it warranted by the company? Because I'm a firm believer, if people don't want to warranty shit, there's usually a reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of sketchy. So, but I was falsely under the opinion Ruger was warranted, which it is, but not officially on paper.
Yeah,
But I've
they kind of
never heard a bad complaint so far.
Yeah, they leave it kind of open there, open ended. The only thing I would say about Ruger, at least with their newer stuff, I would say their quality control is a little, probably not what it once was, based off of my experience with that Ruger S-FAR 308 rifle I got, because there were some things on that were a little not, I was like, I couldn't believe that this made it through. It's stuff loose and just like little stuff. And also, if you look at School of American Rifle, SOTAR, Chad Albrecht, he's did kind of a secret shopper series on the 7 Ruger ARs, and there was a lot of issues found with those as well. And Ruger at SHOT Show, he actually approached them, and they were supposed to help kind of rectify the issues, and they ended up not. But I think that's probably because of who he was and kind of how he kind of runs his stuff. So he was doing it to make a point. So they, I think if he would have pushed the issue, they would have taken care of stuff for him. But he bought these rifles purposely to rip them apart and find everything wrong with them. That's kind of what he does. So
yeah, I started seeing issues with Ruger about 9 years ago. I started seeing a lot more problems with them, and a lot more people bringing them back to be sent back for repair. And a lot of it was in the rifles. The pistols, not so much, but it's mostly all rifle.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, it's all good information and more to hear. So, I mean, I don't think any company is going to be 100% perfect. So sometimes
and they mass produce so much stuff. I mean, they're a pretty big manufacturer, so they're definitely going to be more slipping through the cracks with them.
Definitely how you deal with issues, because no matter what, at some point an issue is going to arise, probably. So it's but how they deal.
And that's one of the big things. I've said it many times. It's a mechanical thing. Anything can fail. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's all about how they treat you. And Ruger is by far one of the top 5, in my opinion, when it comes to sending something back in and getting it fixed. They are up there. They're usually pretty quick about it, usually good about it. I've never really had any issues calling them and saying, hey, I got a customer with this issue, that issue, whatever. It's usually a fairly quick process.
I had some experience with SIG. That they even replaced the parts that I lost. Not that they broke. I lost them while taking the gun apart. And they replaced the part, no questions asked. With all the bad rep that SIG is getting lately, I myself can't really said one bad word about them. And I seen hundreds of those 320s at local competitions. Never once I saw one having a problem.
That's good, Bald. I don't have experience with SIG or their customer service. I was gonna say my experience with like Smith and Wesson, Marlin. Trying to think. Probably another here or there. They've all been pretty good. But again, it's one of the factors I look at when I'm going to purchasing something sometimes.
So one of the things, and I think this is kind of where Ball's going with this, is SIG changed their manual. And I've seen a few different videos on this, but SIG changed their manual. So they now recommend that you don't carry one in the chamber.
Yeah, I don't know if the SIG changed it. I mean, I've seen the Ben Stoger. But Ben Stoger's a shit talker. He's a big. He likes to stir the pot, no matter what it is. And for some reason, he's got this sight set as a SIG lately. So, I to be honest, I don't know how much of that is true and how it is. Then also, I know that lawyers have a lot of freaking pull. So if they changed the manual, they probably did it just for the lawyers. Because if you do your research, even the last lawsuit that SIG lost, and the guy said that he was carrying the freaking gun in his pants, and the trigger was pulled when the gun fired. So I don't understand for the life of me how this didn't get tossed out and they won. The bottom line is, I haven't seen, and I don't even understand. I'm not a gunsmith, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn, and I really don't see how that gun can fire without pulling the trigger. Now, yes, there could be all kinds of crap. People fuck around with their guns, especially competition guns. Hell, I broke my trigger, but it was the only part that wasn't made by SIG. On my gun.
I do have my own P320 story. I've not really said a whole lot about this publicly, and no, it didn't go off on its own. I don't have extra holes. But I had a 320 pretty early on. I bought it before the original trigger recall. It was just a basic full-size P320. and ran great. I mean, awesome pistol, all that stuff. They had the trigger recall come out, and I sent it in for the trigger recall, and I got it back on the second mag. I had a out of battery discharge. Whatever they did with that thing, I had issues where the firing pin was basically, it was striking primers before that slide was locked up. And I had a whole case of ammo, and I had other pistols at the same time. Luckily, my wife had shot the first mag through it. I'm kind of glad that I was shooting it when it blew. It blew out the extractor, blew out the side of the frame. I had shit come back at me in my face. It was pretty nasty. I still got the cases, or the case that. So I picked up all the cases from that particular pistol. I looked at them; they all had case bulges. I'm like, it looked like an unsupported chamber, basically. I took all this to a gunsmith, Chris Baker. He actually did the work on the AK-50 for Brandon Herrera. He was local to me at the time. Took them all to him. He said, "Oh yeah, this thing was firing out of battery," you know. So I sent it to SIG, and right off the bat, they're like, "Oh, that's an ammo issue." I shot that same ammo through a bunch of other pistols, no case bulges, no problems, nothing at all. And they swore up and down. I had the ammo vendor at the time involved. I mean, I had everybody I could get involved. You know, I didn't really care. I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. And they fixed the pistol. They sent it back to me. They didn't replace the frame. The frame still came back with a big old crack all down and chunks missing out of it. All they did was replace the extractor. And then, yeah. And then
that's crazy.
so
is it even safe to fire like that? I mean,
yeah, it was
it's
cracked
not a
outside.
frame.
It's a modular
It's
frame, so it's you got a swappable frame. It's a $40 part. I mean, it's not like it's a lot of money or anything, but it was just a point that they sent it back. They tried to blame it on the ammo, and I took that same pistol, the same ammo, because I kept some of it. I kept, you know, it's brand new, wasn't reloads or nothing, factory ammo. I took the same pistol, went to the range, shot rounds to it. It shot fine. Guess what? No case bulges. So they tried to sweep that under the rug. I mean, I could have pushed it more and more. I got rid of the gun. I took it back to range one time, and I shit canned it. I got rid of it. And I did buy SIG stuff for a long time, or, you know, quite a few years after that. I mean, I like SIG stuff, but the way they handled that was absolutely asinine. That they would not, and it was, I only had a problem with that pistol right after their trigger recall.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to ask
a
you.
lawyer or did something, you know. I mean, I was fine. I mean, it, you know, scared the crap out of me.
I mean, it could be because I never sent mine in after the recall because I never had an issue, so I didn't see a reason to send it in, and I just had it. I mean, I got 2, 3, actually had 3 of them. I sold one because I had my backup X5 I never used. Somebody wanted it, I sold it, and I got my my carry. My X carry, that's my backup competition gun.
Yeah.
Then they had the same issues with the 365 with the you know, the firing pin and different strikers and all that. I say strikers, not the firing pin. The different strikers, and mine never broke. I had it for a long time. When I upgraded to XL, I sold that one to a friend in Florida. He still has it, to my knowledge. He never had an issue. So I don't know. I talked to SIG because at the same time I was touring SIG Factory. I was talking to them about that striker issue, and the guy kind of did sweep it under the rug. And I said, look, this is well-known issue. It's well-known, documented. I also understand that you guys do not make those parts. They come from a third-party vendor, and it'll look a lot. And I told him straight up, it'll look better to everybody if you just went out and admit, yes, we had cheap ass manufacturer making some shit, and we found out it didn't meet the spec, whatever, and we changed the manufacturer, and this shit is over and done, instead of just keep denying shit. But I'm guessing, since SIG is originally a German factory, they just, in the business of denial. Deny.
And that's just what you call poor customer service.
Well, the customer service itself with the SIG, like I can't say a single bad thing. I mean, from being in the store, being in the factory, dealing with them on the phone, I mean, anything with their optics, anything with their guns. I mean, whatever issue I had, they resolved promptly, no questions asked. Like I said, that stupid stuff where I lost the springs while I was taking around with them. And I called them up trying to find the part number to buy one. The guy's like, nope, I'm just putting it in the mail. You'll have it in 2 days. When my red dot was shutting off prematurely, and same thing. Give them a call. Here's your ticket. Send it back. We'll send you a new one. Just like this is different company. The trigger I had in my X5, the one that broke, is actually Armory Craft trigger, and I mean the trigger probably has probably 25, 30,000 rounds on it and countless dry fires, but it shouldn't break like that. But I'm guessing it's a cast part, could have been wrong. And you know what? I contacted Armory Craft, and I had a new one and all a set of springs and a bunch of extras in the mail the same day. No questions asked. Even a prepaid shipping. They wanted the old trigger back. They wanted to see what's wrong. So, I mean, for me, obviously, ideally, the guns, parts, whatever, should not break. But if they do and company addresses it right away, I'm good with that. I mean, if they break on a daily basis, then it's a different story.
Yeah. Well, they sent a gun back with a cracked $40 part and arguing with somebody right here in the chat about firing out a battery, and they're not listening to their customers.
Yeah. And I the funny thing is that I won an M17 shortly after I got rid of that P320. Now, I had that for a while, did some content, and I sold it. I like the P320, but I just couldn't get behind another one with the issues I had. And I've bought a lot of SIG stuff since then. So I got a Spear LT, I carry a P365 XL on a daily basis. My wife's got one. I mean, I like their stuff, but and actually I had a customer service problem with the Spear LT. It wasn't major or nothing. And they asked me, well, what do you want us to do? And they just sent me some stuff as well. It's going to get, I bought a brand new rifle that was pretty expensive, and there had been scopes mounted on the thing apparently. And I asked them, I was like, well, was this a demo? No, it wasn't a demo, nothing. So they sent me some mag and some swag and stuff, and they listened to me and stuff. And, I always think back of that P320 story, and I never did a video on it, never really put it out there. Cause I don't know. I just, sometimes maybe I should have done something more with it, but it just, I always have that in the back of my mind when I deal with SIG, especially I would never buy a first brand new product of theirs. And it took me many years to buy a 365 because of the issues they were having with the firing pin. I was like, there ain't no way. And everybody's like, oh, it's the best carry pistol ever. It's monumental. And it's an awesome pistol. I love it. But I waited an awful long time to get one because they like to beta test their customers a good bit, as we all know. I just, I think back to that the way they kind of tried to do me with that P320. And like I said, I always had that back in my mind. Like I said, I like the company, I like their stuff, but they need to do things a little bit different or start changing their tune with some stuff. If they got faults, they need to just freaking come clean and take care of it and move on, and not, all the crazy marketing stuff they've been putting out lately with it's ending now and all that stuff. I mean, that's ridiculous. Obviously there's some sort of issues going on there. And like I said, I experienced something a little different with my P320. But there's, I don't know. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, there's probably some people embellishing a little bit, trying to, get the clicks and the likes or whatever. But there's obviously some people that have had legitimate issues with that particular design. I don't know why. Like I said, mine worked great, and I sent in for their silly trigger recall. Just because, when they say, oh, it's a safety issue, I try to, that gets my attention. Hey, this is a problem. We got to fix for it. Same with Remington 700. I sent that rifle back when they had the trigger deal going on with that. Of course, that thing, I didn't have freaking, out of battery discharges and cases blowing up after a trigger recall on that. So, like I said, I just look back and I was glad it wasn't my wife shooting it, because she shot the first mag and I shot the second one. And like I said, all those cases had that evidence there, and they still up and down denied it. I had everybody involved all the way around, even a gunsmith, and they still were, nope, that's an ammo issue. So,
I've seen that before in the past with companies where they'll just deny it point blank, no matter what. And it's sad. It's really sad, because it comes down to the fact of, look, we're the ones out there buying the product, and we're the ones out in the field shooting it. Why wouldn't you listen to the person calling you and you're saying, hey, this is what happened?
Yeah.
But I think it's nuts that they actually sent it back with a cracked frame.
Yeah.
I mean, you say
No, me
it's a
too. I was
$40 part, but that's $40 maybe to you plus I don't know shipping.
They
Handling,
ended up
whatever.
sending me another frame, but they were like, "Oh, we can't send you the same color; it's out of stock or whatever." So they sent me
Okay.
another frame, but
just
it was
seems like
but I had to complain again about it for them to even
like
do
a
that.
liability thing. Like what do you? I mean, and if they were gonna take any responsibility and fix the gun at all, why not get it back in the proper condition? I mean, it just seems weird that I can't think of any other product where they'd send you something back with the shell cracked, after service. It seems kind of weird.
Yep. Yeah, matter of fact, I wonder if I bet I still got that frame laying around here somewhere. But yeah, so anyways, that's my sick story. So like I said, I like the company, I like their products, but man, I got to shake my head with some of the stuff I've dealt with them, and then also stuff that I've heard from other folks over the years. Maybe it just depends on who you get and what the situation is, and I do miss. I had a German-made 226R that they imported a small batch years ago, and I wish I would have kept that thing. Matter of fact, my next SIG will probably be a hammer-fired 229 or something like that if I get another one. But
to be honest with you, nowadays it doesn't even matter if you're a dealer or not. You call and talk to these people, and customer service is out the window, man. It is out the window big time with a lot of these companies, regardless of who you are, the dealer or not. It's just they just don't seem to care anymore, And it's sad.
I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on how you talk to people, because I knock on wood, I only had a handful of experiences, especially with the gun companies that had to deal with the customer service, and I don't really have a bad experience. Now, Alien Gear Holster, on the other hand, they pissed me off big time, and I'll never buy their shit again because they got under my skin over freaking screws that were like 10 cents. That just drove me up the wall.
Hold on. Wait a second. They could understand you?
Yeah, they could understand me. Imagine that. Well, listen, yeah, they understand your freaking skirt wearing ass.
Val,
hey,
I got a question for you.
You know what, man? I got a compliment on my accent the other day, so fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I get compliment on my accent every day.
Val, I got a question.
I feel it. How much does it cost to get one of your Russian reps to replace a dentist?
That's a good question as well.
Do you have a brother who's a dentist in New York?
Why? Does somebody put a scare into New York Outcast?
They fucked up his teeth.
Yeah,
and they look exactly like you.
It was the sadistic dentist from the Rocky Horror Picture Show worked on Rob's teeth.
All I can say,
my normal dentist too. Came in and bullied out my normal dentist. You're gonna say here live he had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it.
Looked like you, talked like you.
I don't believe it, Ball. But I think Ball did make a good point on how you talk to people sometimes, because I've heard other people call and complain about shit, and they really get real rude, come off as a dick, start cursing people out, and when you instantly start off that way, most of these companies have the right to just hang up on you and say to hell with you. You know what I mean?
I mean, coming from Ball, that's quite a statement.
It's all about the 1022 thing, ain't it, Val?
That is it. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that video though. But instead of the video, he swaps out my dentist, and now I probably got a tracker in my tooth and an infection.
That's because he saw your video, knew he couldn't win, and then he went and sabotaged your dad.
Yeah, I told you. Gun videos are not simple because the guns are scattered all over other people's houses. So my access to it is limited. And to be honest, I don't even know who the hell has got my 1022. I would have to make a couple of phone calls. So right now I got bigger problems. I need to finish the house and get it on the market. So I gotta get the house on the market so I can go down to Tennessee and start looking for a place to move.
I don't know about you, Daniel, but what do you hear?
What do I hear about
Wow.
Rob?
Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Well, the wham was coming from Rob. I mean, if Val did it, bravo, Val. Good on you. Taking out the competition.
Damn, man, listen to yourselves, guys. You sound like a bunch of juvenile delinquents.
We are delinquents. We don't have. We can act juvenile and be delinquent. We're grown as men.
Guys got no respect for tooth pain. No respect.
All I can say is I wish Mario was here.
Oh man, if Mario was in here, rowdy.
Golly.
Stop. Oh no, you can't say his name too many times. He's like a Beetlejuice.
Mario.
My thoughts exactly.
Battle bean.
I think the story's hilarious. Rob, he won't pay money for a good dentist, and then when his regular bad dentist is gone, they get replaced by the Russian mafia dentist.
Well, Rob's
No
not paying
joke.
for anything.
Hey, I got decent. I got a good dentist, so it wasn't that. My dentist is fine. I don't know. I haven't seen her because I don't know what happened after the big guy ushered her out of the room. But
Okay, hold on. Stop. So last week you didn't say anything about her being ushered out of the room. You just said that you weren't able to see her and you got this guy instead. Now you're telling us she was ushered out of the room. So what was it?
I'm saying a big dude showed up. I was sitting in a chair. I was expecting it to be her, and the next thing you know, bald number 2 shows up. And I got a tooth infection, antibiotics. My whole face was like broken for 2 days. Like, this is bad. Like I can't even eat a salad without cringing.
I hate to break it to you, but your entire face has been broken since you were born.
Well, your guy broke it more, man.
Stop eating salads. Eat meat.
I would if I could chew.
No, you wouldn't. You're a cheap bastard.
Hey, Rob, does that dentist allow you to take in coupons?
No coupons.
What?
Yeah, no, they're funny about that. I mean, I guess people hand in expired coupons and they stop taking them. So,
Are they
in other words, he
school?
tried already.
Are they associated with the dental school? Because I just can't see you paying full price for anything.
Look, Barnaby's got your back right there, man. Go to Mexico.
Hey, we got any Jewish people here?
that's funny.
Why does it got to be a Jewish thing?
Because you know why Jewish men are circumcised?
Yeah, I do, but go ahead, Bo.
Because Jewish women, they won't touch anything unless it's at least 10% off.
Oh, damn.
That was horrible. That was absolutely fucking horrible. That was bad. Even for you, that was fucking bad.
Yeah.
Come on, it's a good joke. You're a bad cop.
No, that was fucking terrible. Even on your worst day, that's really bad for you. And you've told some really piss poor jokes on here, but that's pretty bad.
Oh, stop.
And Jamie egged him on. I can't believe that. Tell it.
I was just saying, yeah, I know why they're circumcised.
Well, you told him to go ahead and tell it.
Okay, I egged him on.
It's
Whatever,
Jamie's fault.
Dave.
Everybody
It's my fault.
fault. That's for calling it.
Damn block guys.
Dang gummit, man. Y'all brutal tonight.
All right, Daniel, come on. Give us a dad joke. It's not gonna be any worse. It's not gonna be any worse than bald.
I have no jokes this week. I mean, my sense of humor is out the window. I want to have to go get a prescription to get my sense of humor back. It's been a crappy week.
I know it's been
got investigated by ambulance drivers and nurses in the medical facility.
I know it's been a crappy week for you, man.
So.
So, Rob, are you gonna get your regular dentist back, or what are you trying to do, man? What's going on with that?
I hope so. I don't know. Right now, waiting to see if antibiotics deal with it, so it's not painful to chew and whatnot. So basically, and we'll see what happens. You know, if my regular dentist is back, then I assume everything will get corrected. But I don't know. Man, I haven't seen her around.
Hey, maybe she got deported.
I'd be doing some investigating, man.
Nah, she didn't get deported.
Did she have an accent?
So Daniel, earlier we were talking a little bit about the new version of the Shadow 2 Compact, the Carry. I know that you basically carry your Shadow 2 Compact daily. So what do you think about the variant that they changed up for the Carry model?
I haven't even looked at it. You guys, I know you asked me. It's got the hammered, the decocker. I mean, that's cool. But the only thing with your, the first Shadow 2 Compact with the optics ready that I wish they would have done differently is put the safety lever, the same safety lever that they have on the full size on the compact, because it makes it so much easier to carry cocked and locked and flip it down. The one that it comes with, that safety release is just way too slim.
Yeah, that was one of my complaints.
Yeah, so I took the one off my full size, so when I can get away with cheating at a shoot, I'll run it cocked and locked.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't the compact CZ designed as a carry gun? So the safety is really not important because you're never gonna carry cocked and locked. You're gonna carry with the hammer down.
Well, yeah,
right?
But you shoot your carry gun at competitions, you gotta game it a little.
But you can't shoot your carry gun in a competition, have it cocked and locked, because then it puts you either limited or open division.
You can go limited, but if you can get away with it and carry optics, you're going to get away with it.
So in other words, you're cheating. That's why,
If you ain't cheating, you don't want to win good enough. Ain't you and Mario learned that lesson yet?
I don't cheat against you.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
Yeah. Exactly. All I'm saying is the gun was really designed for that, so the safety doesn't really matter because it's just like original Shadow was designed for the competition for the production division. So you're always gonna start hammer down. So safety doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Safety always matters, especially when you got a gun. Safety matters.
Well, safety's third.
Right. This week, I mean, it just Gene beat me by one penalty. So I said it live.
That's the kicker to your week right there, man.
Yeah, that Gene beat me. In my last two stages, I dropped like somewhere between 10 to 15 places because my mind wasn't in the stage at all.
Now here's a question: when you shoot, do they use the timer to time your time, or do they use like a sundial?
No, they actually use it. I dropped like 10 or 15 places on the last two stages. I shot on both of those stages. I shot a no shoot and I ran past a target, or else I would have had a solid mid pack finish.
In other words, you're saying that you can't hold it together for 6 stages.
7 stages today. They had a bonus stage, but the last 2, my mind wasn't there. It wasn't there.
Well, your mind's barely there when you wake up.
Hey, look, he's had a lot going on recently, man. If you knew what it was, you would understand why his mind wasn't there.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit.
I got a lot going on the last 2 years.
Yeah, but you again, you don't understand, so
yeah,
you might just want to close your mouth.
I got a phone call, and right before I shot my second to the last stage, so my mind wasn't in it at all.
Well,
it was one of those phone calls that you answer. It was one of those kinds.
That's why you don't bring your phone to the competition.
In what situation would you carry a phone during a What would make you carry a phone in a competition?
I don't know. If it would be life or death, I wouldn't go to a competition.
There you go.
I wouldn't go at all. I'm just saying.
I think he found out about a kid from 20 years ago.
Maybe twins.
That was his wife saying, excuse me?
Hey, listen, not everybody's fertile like you, Rob. Not everybody spread their seeds like Elon Musk and New York Outcast.
Robbie Ferrell, he eats fucking salads all day long.
No, he's got kids like all over the goddamn place.
Well, that's why he's a poor fucker, and all saying he's broken. This, that, the other.
No, he's not broke. If I had his money, I would burn mine.
That's
He's
why
just,
he's
he's
a cheap bastard.
He's one of those guys that just keeps crying, and he's freaking loaded. He probably his entire mattress. He got all the springs out, and it's loaded with the goddamn $100 bills. Like I was with him, he was walking all over the Binghamton and folding and throwing $100 bills on the ground all over the place.
No.
Okay.
I seen that.
Okay. Look, I fucking met the guy. I know that's bullshit. I've met him. There ain't no fucking way in hell he's throwing anything. I
swear to God.
You can swear to God all you want. You're a lying piece of shit.
I saw it with my own eyes as he walked all over the street, and he was throwing folded $100 bills on the ground.
He would never toss $1 bill, let alone $100 bill.
That was a fake 100. Sometimes I just do that to mess with people to see if they're honest. But it was fake money, Ball. It wasn't real.
I know it was fake money, but still, I didn't say we're throwing real money. I just said I saw you throw a folded $100 bill. on the ground.
And those that knows of us that know him know he would never throw a real $100 bill on the ground.
No. He wouldn't throw a coupon on the ground. If he could use that coupon, that sucker's getting used.
Hey, man, I don't know. Some people just love paying full price, but a lot of times, if you look, there's a deal out there. Yeah. In some circles, they say only suckers pay full price. So I'm always looking for a deal. You don't always find the deal, but at least take the moment to look. Just about anything you see throughout your day advertised, you can look up, do a search on, and probably find it cheaper. That's all I'm saying.
We're talking about a guy that went to a restaurant. We all sit down to eat, and we're all looking at the menu, and he starts hitting on the waitress with his girlfriend right there.
No.
because he's trying to get a better deal. Try to smooth talk her.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Did you seriously meet Rob? I mean, that motherfucker can't get laid in a whorehouse with a handful of 50s. Like, I don't know what that girl sees in him.
Well, you were the one just saying he was throwing hundreds on the ground. Now you're talking about 50s.
Oh man, this is funny.
He's tossing hundreds out there. He's probably getting laid.
I don't know. She's way out of his league either, too.
By the time they realize they're fake, it's already over.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
So,
would
Val,
love to see
when does that show up in Cleveland that you're going to?
What is it, June? July? Hang on, let me look.
The end of June. It's the end of June. It's the weekend of the 28th, 27, 28th.
Yeah, June 28th. Industry Media is on 25th.
Oh.
So, are you going to be able to get together with some local folks around here?
You know what? I don't plan that far ahead. I know I'm gonna drive there. I got a bunch of other shit I gotta take care of. So I don't know. I gotta talk to Chris, see what his plans are, because he's fairly close to Cleveland, isn't he?
No, he's in Marion, but it's less than an hour away for him.
All right, so yeah, that's fairly close. I would say that would be considered fairly close to Cleveland.
I mean, well, it's real close, so you can go on down to the shooting club he belongs to. And yeah, I could be there in 25 minutes.
That's what I was kind of hoping we would maybe do something. I would get a day ahead, get a hotel, maybe go shoot, do some videos, do some shit. Although I don't know why the hell I want to do videos because nobody's watching that shit anyway. To waste of freaking time and money. I mean, the more subscribers I got, the less views I have.
Because I'd take some video of me beating your butt.
In what? Like a pizza eating contest?
Shooting, dude. You can bring your full size. I'll shoot my compact.
Oh God, here you go. Now Bald's gonna be like, "You said I could bring my rifle."
Well, you know what? I shot with Daniel. He tried to beat me, and it didn't work out. So you know what? Men can dream. So
when was this?
In Farmageddon.
Oh, you mean when I was in the squad with TR Prepper and oh God, what's that other guy's name?
Doesn't matter who won that thing.
Yeah, who was in your squad?
2 guys I never met before.
X-Ring.
No, X-Ring wasn't in my squad.
Hey,
I was there with. No, I had 2 guys. I had 2 guys from Michigan. I never met before.
Yeah, you didn't beat Pops in X-Ring.
Yes, we did. We beat Pops. We beat Coda Boy. We beat X-Ring. We beat them all. Me and those
Yeah.
two guys. Yep, we smoked everybody. And I was not even shooting any of my guns. We were shooting X-Ring's shotgun, slug at 100 yards with iron sights. I was shooting somebody else's PCC. So, and I was shooting somebody else's pistol
Oh,
too.
that
So
100-yard shot. How many times did you have to shoot that slug to hit that steel plate?
that's it. You had one shot.
No,
Yep, I had one shot. That's it. One
hit or
shot,
miss.
and
I know I hit it the first time.
you know, I probably have it somewhere on the video.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, come on down. We'll something will get set up. If there's not, if there's not actually a USPSA match at that time, which
I gotta see if I can get my hands on a revolver, so we can make it like even match.
a revolver.
Yeah, I'll
You
shoot
see,
the revolver.
he's already switching shit up. You see that, Daniel?
Yeah.
Since he's driving, he got to just pick me up, and then we'll just carpool down there, and I'll keep all this shit even and legit, and let the people know what's really happening, what the deal really was.
Well, I came down to farm and beat them all with a revolver.
Hey, look. Hey, Rob, you got to get your mouth fixed first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you got to get.
well, it's a long drive. Accidents could happen. So if it doesn't get fixed, maybe karma catches up to the guy. I don't know.
That could be. Could
I
well
could see
be.
Bald. I could see Bald pulling out this little box that has a red light on it and a button, and he pushes it, and Rob's head explodes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, automatic Colombian necktie off the back seat, right?
So you saying me and Rob, we're gonna drive my Prius all the way to Cleveland?
Oh, you guys gonna go in a Prius, huh?
Oh my
yeah,
God,
Prius
it sounds like a movie.
Come on, Prius is the best car.
Dang, he's driving a Prius. You eat salads. What a frickin' pair.
I
Hey,
love my Prius.
Jasmine, 2 New Yorkers in a Prius go to Ohio. That is set up for a really good joke.
To a gun event too. Yeah. It's like escaping New York or something.
You bulls ain't around.
125.
You bulls ain't from around here now, are you?
Not only that, we're gonna slap a Kamala sticker on that Prius.
Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'll have to duck down the whole way, and people will think something strange is going on.
Well, I mean, you and him in a car together, or something strange is going on anyway.
His old lady's not gonna let him go by himself.
That's even worse. You, him, and her.
Oh man, if I put my foot down, it wouldn't be a problem. But
Oh, bring her.
I get along with my lady, and she's into a lot of the same shit that I do, or at least she claims to be. I get a 4-wheeler. Next thing you know, I got to buy her a 4-wheeler. It's just one of them damn things, I guess. I don't know, but so I don't know. Yeah.
Rob,
Usually I have her tag along because she enjoys it, and that's just what it is. But don't have to.
How do you
Bring her
drive a
out, man.
4-wheeler in the middle of the Binghamton?
she gets
It'll-
all this freedom we have out here. She won't want to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, nor will you, man. You'll come out here and see all the freedom we got, and you be like, holy shit.
He's got it made because he can walk across the Pennsylvania border and enjoy all the freedom there is, and then come back to his ghetto in Binghamton.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to duck out because my battery's about to die here, guys. So,
All right. Well, good seeing you, man. Appreciate you showing up.
thank you. Peace out.
Take it easy, man.
See ya.
All right. So we'll go through one last topic real quick, and then we'll start working on getting out of here. And Christian, you brought this up, so I'll let you fire off with it, man.
Yeah, there was in the side chat there was some talks about cans being banned or not banned or whatever. I know there's a lot of talks of them taking it off the NFA. I don't know. I'm a skeptic. I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to the politicians doing anything that's right in this world. So that's kind of where I fall in. But they've been dangling that carrot for quite a few years of politicians, and I know people that are like, I'm gonna hold off on paying this tax stamp because I'm gonna wait for that thing to get get the suppressors taken off the NFA registry. And those people, they never got cans. So if you want a suppressor, I hate to say it, just go ahead and do it. Don't wait to save that $200 because you probably are never going to be able to save it.
Well, and one thing I think a lot of people don't pay attention to are the bills that are out there. There's actually been a bill that's been out there probably for about the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's been reintroduced and stuff. Yeah,
but to try and remove it from the NFA, and it's gotten nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it, happen or they pulled it. I'd like to see a lot more, but I mean that would be a good step. I mean, suppressors. I got crappy hearing. If I can shoot suppressed, I shoot suppressed. I don't care what it is. I've spent a lot of money in suppressors over the years too, but I just, it's such a more pleasant experience to shoot suppressed. And I still wear ear pro, so because depending on what you're shooting, it's still gonna be loud to an extent, but it's still a lot less damage to your hearing than or potential damage, when you're running a suppressor than running non-suppressed. It actually kind of frustrates me when I'm there shooting suppressed and then somebody comes next to me at one of the other lanes with a freaking big old monster muzzle brake and they're trying to blast me out. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope that they pull those off of there. But I don't see it.
Well, yeah, but the NFA at this point is nearly part of history and tradition. Because of how long it's just been out there, even though it was an infringement when it was wrote. It's been out there for so long now that the argument could be, well, it is part of history and tradition. Not when the country was founded, but
no. And in other countries, suppressors are like buying a firearm, pretty much. We're probably the most restricted country on the planet that I'm aware of. At least in European countries.
You look at the Netherlands, for example. They can walk in the store and walk right out with it.
Yep. So the one of the questions in the side chat also was, well, do we think the prices are going to come down if they're taken off the NFA? I think initially demand will be higher. The prices might not drop, but after, I would hope that with less regulation, because that's part of the reason they're pricey as they are, is because there's more regulatory stuff going on with those. Versus a firearm. I mean, not that firearms aren't regulated anyways, but I think the prices would come down a little bit with if they were taken off the NFA. But that's just my thoughts on it. I hope it. I'd like to see them come off of there, but there's no disadvantage. The only disadvantage to the government is less control and a little bit less revenue. But in the grand scheme of things, as far as revenue, how much revenue do they get annually for tax stamps? I don't know that it's really all that much,
Me being a cheap bastard, I'm just against the NFA as a whole. Personally, I'm not a fan. I mean, I know that wasn't the actual question, but it kind of answers as, do I think it should be taken off? Yeah, it should be taken off. I don't like the idea
NFA, the
$200.
Across the board, machine guns, all that. I'd like to see all that stuff gone.
Yeah,
but
me too. But I don't see the point of paying a $200 tax stamp when supposedly it was implemented back when $200 was a lot of money, which is going to restrict the average person from applying to get it. So basically, it was put there as a barrier to begin with. Even though it's easily reached nowadays for the average person, it's still the principle of the matter. I think it's just more bullshit on top of bullshit. Personally, if they were off, because I'm cheap, I would still most likely just build instead of buy. Would it be the best thing out there? Probably not. But would it be more affordable? Damn right. And I think eventually, like he said, excuse me, over time prices would come down. But as far as machine guns, years ago, there wasn't much of a price difference between, rifle A and rifle B, sitting on the shelf. There really wasn't.
No,
Now it's become an NFA thing. Collectors and people invested so much money and use it as a wealth holding. These people fight against it being released from NFA because they're going to lose a shitload of money. So it's like we got gun people fighting against gun people when it comes to this type of stuff too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, the transferable machine guns prior to 1986, they're a premium. I mean, those things, you can't get into any of that stuff for, gosh, I think you can get like a crappy, full auto Mac 5 or something for maybe 10 to 15,000, but everything else is so much. And I mean, there's no way that I could ever justify spending that kind of money on one fire. I'm sorry. I don't care, full auto, all that. I mean, I'll go to gun events and shoot other people's full auto stuff and not spend the money. I mean, full auto, once you shot a lot of it, you kind of get immune to it.
But it's not the point though. You know what I mean? If you want to shoot it for free, join the military. I totally get it. But at the same point, if you want that capability, if you want to stop it, it should be within affordable means for the average civilian. I mean, we can use these to defend our country. You can hop through hoops with the government to obtain them. So what the hell's the difference? I mean, legal should be legal.
Well,
you know what I mean? The average guy won't be, running, saws and dropping nut sacks, 20 at the range or whatever. They're not going to be doing this shit, maybe at a wedding or something here or there, but it's not going to be a normal thing. It's just people don't have that kind of money. But it's your right. You should be able to if you want to.
Absolutely.
Right. But one of the big reasons that the cost is so high is they did the cost so high on purpose to make it unobtainable for people.
Yeah.
That was one of the big reasons they did that.
Yeah.
Back in the day they were super affordable. And then as soon as the NFA came about and all the rest of it, prices went through the freaking roof on purpose.
Well, yeah, and not that long ago, people were using those oil reservoir things, and you could pick one of those up for $15 and drill a hole in it, and you've got yourself a suppressor.
In a couple of years, in the federal
would the prices of suppressors come down? I think eventually they would, but I'm with you, Kristen. It initially, no. The demand's going to be so high that the companies are just going to leave their prices right where they're at and suck up as much as they possibly can. And then you're going to end up paying a premium for like the premium suppressors with all the right materials and everything else, like premium made suppressors. That's when you're going to be paying the high dollar stuff. Yeah, because having a muffler for $1,000 is exorbitant.
Yeah, and one other point I had a thought in my head as far as machine gun stuff. If we are having this hard of a time getting suppressors pulled off the NFA, machine guns, that's. I mean, I'll never live to see the day that happens at the rate.
Well, I mean, just look at how they look at AR-15s.
Oh yeah, no, they're the worst thing on. That's evil incarnate in your hands.
They're already addressed as an assault rifle when we all know they're not an assault rifle.
Yeah, I
far
wouldn't
as
hold my breath. I wouldn't hold my breath on the whole NFA item, anything coming off, because historically, how many times your rights got taken away and actually got restored? Yeah, I can see it in New York. You know, all the restrictions keep coming up, nothing ever comes off. Everything just gets worse and worse and worse. So I seriously don't see. I mean, maybe they'll change thing for the suppressors. They might be maybe easier to get, but they're still gonna have to. They're still gonna restrict them because they can, because the politicians, but the people that make the decisions, they don't know shit about it. They
Now,
don't
at
know
the
shit
state
about
level,
guns.
you almost have more of a chance at the state level than the federal level with gun laws and stuff like that. So here in North Carolina, we had pistol purchase permits up until, I don't know, the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, they got rid of the pistol purchase permits. But for I don't know how many decades upon decades, if you wanted to go buy a handgun, you had to go to the sheriff's department. You had to pay money. You had to fill out everything like you were filling out for a concealed carry permit. Now, if you had a concealed carry permit, you didn't have to do the pistol purchase deal. But if you were just a regular person and you went in there, sheriff's department filled that stuff out, and they could deny you. They could drag their feet on it. I mean, you could not even get a chance to buy a pistol for who knows how long. I mean, it was so unconstitutional, across the board. But they finally got rid of that garbage, a few years back. So it took them long enough. So I mean, there is kind of some hope, a little bit of hope, but at the federal level, we got so many of these yahoos from crazy states like New York that I think that they have such a pull. It seems like that, man. It just seems like, and then you got people that just aren't gun people, right? If you got gun people, non-gun people running the show that just have no idea, that they think it's just what they see in the movies. Viejo made a comment out there in the side chat about, the movies need to depict the way suppressors truly are. And I totally agree with that comment, because suppressors are not like they show in Hollywood. I see it all the time in movies where they show, I mean, that thing ain't making no noise or nothing. And I'm like, well, that's not reality for the majority of, suppressor usage. But,
well, and you make a good point. So two things. So number one, you make a really good point about the states. And I think if we see more states step up and address changing the laws in that state, you'll have a better chance.
Yep.
There are some states that have changed the law on suppressors themselves, and they still have to follow certain things when it comes to federal, but they're working and fighting against that. So if the state's going to change it, you're more likely to see more of a fight in that game. And then the other part to that too is we have such a radical Supreme Court right now, and you just don't know which way they're going to go on any decision nowadays.
No, definitely not.
They're all over the fucking place. And so it could be a huge toss up if it ever makes it to the Supreme Court.
See, here's the thing, guys. Throughout history, if you look back, when you see these kind of laws, what happens is outlaws get rich. Probably the reason they haven't come out with the changing these laws so far is because there's too much money in them being illegal. Let's face it, Prohibition made mega millionaires out of bootleggers. Think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And, to Bald's statement earlier, I just state, yes, New York as a whole is horrible. One of the worst, states we have. But even as bad as we have it in New York, we have had some wins in a sense where it has come to our favor. So, I mean, should it be better? Of course. Should we have to fight half this shit? No, it shouldn't even be a question. But, a couple examples is, in our state, we no longer have to wait 3 days to pick up a firearm, where it used to be a 3-day wait. So that's technically over with now. For a little while, we couldn't go a lot of places in public, even with a concealed carry permit, which got changed around, like private property, stuff like that. So obviously, if it's posted, you're not supposed to be there or whatever, but it's not a crime. But that was switched to where it would be a crime for a little while, and now that's back the other way, thankfully. Also, let me see, there was something else too here. I mean, they're all small little things, but in a sense, it's something. You know what I mean?
Anything is better than nothing. Any step in the right direction is positive.
So these are all kind of things that, obviously it would be nice if we weren't even arguing about them, but, it's not 100%, I guess, going the other way in every case. So obviously, we'd like it to go a lot better. So, but unfortunately, that's it is New York, and most likely things lean a certain way. So, but as a whole, you got to give credit where credit's due. We have had some tiny little micro wins here or there, so that's something.
Keyword micro wins. I got one too, guys. I gotta go take the dog out. So
Take care, Bob.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys have a nice week.
You do the same. Good to see you, Val.
Good seeing
Take
you.
care.
Take care.
Everybody, we're gonna start going through the room. Christian, what you got, man?
Oh, what do I got? I got a optic LPVO 1-10 that I'd finished beating the heck out of, running over with a truck and all sorts of other stuff. I should have that video out this week. Got a couple other, I kind of was going to bring it up earlier, but I recently acquired a 1950s Remington 740 Woodsmaster 30-06 hunting rifle. It's like the epitome of a classic hunting rifle. Got an old loopholed 4X scope on there. That thing's freaking gorgeous. It shoots awesome,
man.
Nice. And I got it for nothing. It was a coworker that just had it, and the bolt was locked up in it because it hadn't been cleaned in a long time, and I fixed it, lubed it up good, and it just shoots like a dream. So I got a video I'm putting together for that. So a few little things here and there, but that's basically what I got going on.
Awesome, man. I look forward to seeing that one because I know that's going to be a beautiful piece. So I look forward to that one. Always a pleasure seeing you, man. I'm glad you could make it and hang out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome conversation. So I'm so glad you were able to show up, man. Rob, what you got going on, brother?
Not much that I know of. I might be throwing something up about the new family member here. Hoping to pick that up early this week. So probably throw something up on that. Not that it's brand new to everybody, but it'd be brand new to me. So maybe some of my viewers. But other than that, not much. Hoping to get this root canal handled without Bald's assistance, and basically be able to keep eating salads and kick ass. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for the invite. Good conversation. Some funny times here. Had my ribs hurting with Bald cracking me up here earlier and whatnot. So decent time.
I tell you what, man, I can come and help fix your issues. Just pay for my gas, and I'll drive up there and I'll help fix it for you.
Well, if it keeps up, it may be an option because there's not many badasses running around in a kilt here, so it'll definitely point the finger a different direction.
I'll bring some good whiskey with me. You just pay for the fuel. I'll make sure you're taken care of, brother.
Nice. All right, I'll definitely keep it in mind, and I do appreciate the offer. But yeah, other than that, thanks for hanging with us, and we'll catch you next week.
Awesome, man. Always a pleasure. Jamie, what you got going on, brother?
Got to get that video I've been sleeping on. I got to get that together and get it out. Check us out Friday nights at 8:00 on Eastern on the Georgia Shooting Connection channel. Thanks for having me, boss.
Always a pleasure, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you to everyone out in the side chat, guys. We had an awesome chat. Lots and lots of good conversation. Lots of good people showing up on here. and lots of you good folks out there. So thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being a part of this. And Alan, please, if you would, sir, take us out right.
Oh man, great chat. Good to have everybody tonight. I was able to get my new concealment flag hung up. It's RFD lock cabinet from Liberty Concealment. They shipped it pretty quick, and man, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I do plan on trying to figure out what I'm going to put in it and how I'm going to lay it out. And as soon as I do, and I go to carve it, I think I'll start a video then, and it'll probably take 2 or 3 days. So just let it play. Other than that, keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!